It is it's good to see everybody. I've spent the last 2 days watching my dad on ESPN and listening to him on Mike and all the stuff that he's doing. And he looks 5 years younger than he did when he was working for the Colts. And then I watch Coach Fox. I hear about Coach Fox having to have heart surgery, and I watch Coach Kubiak, who I'm friends with and very close with his son Clint, go down. And I think that maybe I'm in the wrong business and I should be sitting on that side of the microphone as opposed to this side, because it seems the people in my profession are struggling right now. Where we're at right now, as we head into Colorado State week, we're a little bit banged up right now. We've got Bradley, Taft, Hecking, Gallus, Reynoso, Turner, and Bitonio are all battling some sort of injury right now. And of those 7, I don't know if all 7 will make it to the game. It's too early to tell right now as we sit here on Tuesday, but I wouldn't be shocked if 1 or 2 of them didn't make it. It'll affect how we practice this week. We've played, I believe, 9 games. We're headed into our 10th game, and we've had a bye week and 3 weeks of training camp. So you're talking about, we've been going at this now for 14 weeks, and, physically you can tell it's taken a little bit of a toll. So how we prepare this week with a back-to-back road trip and the travel last week wasn't ideal. We didn't get back into town until about 6:30 in the morning on Sunday. So, we're going to have to, I'm going to have to do my best job and the coaches in terms of preparing the team as best we can, but also having them physically ready to go to play on Saturday afternoon. Colorado State, I think, is a much improved football team from where they were a year ago. They're battling for bowl eligibility as we are. Home game for them, it's going to be a challenge for us. Offensively, they average 33 points a game and nearly 450 yards a game. They're very multiple. Coach McElwain, Coach Baldwin, both great offensive minds. When I say multiple, I mean you're going to see 4 or 5 different personnel groups in a game, formations, shifts, motions. You're going to see concepts that look like Fresno State with 4 wides and, quick game, screen. And then the very next play you could see a formation that looks like Stanford, where they've got 3 tight ends on the field and they're running power at you. So it really is a lot of offense, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's not all coming out of the same conceptual family tree. It's all over the place, and that's going to be a challenge for us as, we're going to have to make sure that we're assignment sound and that we can get lined up, and that's going to be important. I think they run it really well, and I think their ability to run it sets up plays that they make in the passing game. Their offensive line is, in my opinion, in the strength of their offense. They've got 4 seniors and a junior starting across their offensive line. And I think they're really good, and I think they make that offense go. It's going to be a challenge. Personnel-wise, Richburg, the center, I think is an exceptional football player, although I think all 5 of the offensive linemen are good players, and they play well as a unit. Second week in a row that we're going to see what I think is a very talented tight end, but also a big body. A kid by the name of Gilmore is going to be 6'6", 255, another senior. The quarterback, Garrett Grayson, is a good player, athletic enough to make plays with his feet, even though they don't design a lot of runs for the quarterback. Clearly last week against Boise, you saw him pull the ball down and go, and I think they have 3 good backs, and Capri Bibbs, number 5, is a really good one. So the challenge for us, we got to try and stop the run, and we got to be able to handle all the multiple looks that they're going to throw at us. This is going to be a big week in terms of mental preparation for our defense. Can they get in and be able to put in 1 to 2 hours of film work on their own above and beyond the 20-hour limit that we're allowed? Because communication and getting aligned quickly is going to be an issue. Colorado State's defense, I think they're a good tackling team. I think they run pretty well. They play hard. They will also show you multiple fronts. They list themselves as a 4-3, but they're really a hybrid. The kid 56, Barrett, is listed as a DN. He's really an outside linebacker, and they will bounce in and out of even and odd fronts where, one snap it looks like it's 4-3, the next snap it looks like it's 3-4. I think their front seven's very good. And again, you look at their front four, the defensive line, all seniors who have been together for a while. I think they're really good against the run. They've given up chunk plays in the passing game, but they've been able to offset that with the ability of the pass rush. I mean, I think Barrett's got 14 tackles for loss or something at this point. Personnel-wise on defense, the first guy that sticks out to you is Calvin Tonga, number 97, the nose tackle, 6'3", 330. He's a space eater. And for a guy that size, surprisingly athletic. I mean, he moves, you would think in the Mountain West Conference, a guy that size would be not very mobile. Guys his size that move the way he does at times are playing in BCS conferences, but this guy's a pretty good player. Barrett, 56, is a real good player. High motor, pass rusher. Max Morgan, the middle linebacker, is a good player, leads the team in tackles. And Trent Matthews, the free safety, has got leading the team in picks and clearly is the captain of them in the back end. I think the kick returner, Kaufman, is a pretty good player. He's kind of like their bell cow in special teams. They're a well-coached team. On their offensive and defensive lines, out of the 9 starters, 8 of them are seniors. So they're a veteran, experienced, physically strong group on their O&D lines, and that'll be a challenge for us. And, I think, Coach McElwain was in a situation last year where he comes in and, he's establishing a program and recruiting and doing all those things. And I can't recall if they were a 3 or 4 win team last year. It was somewhere around there, but they're significantly improved. You can see a difference from last year to this year, and so it's going to be just it'll be a challenge for us. If we're going to be a factor in the Mountain West moving forward, we've got to learn how to win games on the road. And this is an opportunity, our last opportunity this year, to go onto the road against a high-quality opponent who I believe is a game better than us in the standings, but is similar to us in the sense that they're playing to go to a bowl. And so that's where the challenge lies for us. Take any questions? I think there's a comfort level for sure, and I think when you're dealing with places like Fresno State and Boise, there's a crowd noise factor in it. I mean, Fresno was loud, Boise was loud, so you have the mechanics of trying to run an offense off a silent count and those differences. And I'll be honest with you, the travel part of it, especially coming off of a 7:30 kick at Fresno and a bus ride home, you're concerned about, how are they feeling physically? Are we, do we have enough rest? At one point I looked back in our bus and Hecking had placed a Gatorade cooler in the aisle and had his body splayed over 2 different seats and the Gatorade cooler. So, you're worried about, back-to-back road trips, a night game going into an early start in Colorado. I mean, a lot of people may think there's nothing to that stuff, and maybe there's not, but this is the personality of a coach, the mindset of a coach, that you're worried about these things. So, the routine of being at home and the food, the hotel. It just they know what they're getting into. So I guess more than anything, it's just the comfort level.
You talked about your philosophy in terms of you had really light practices after some difficult wins. Why is that important to you to try to keep it light as opposed to the other side of the spectrum where maybe you're hard on guys?
I don't think. I think there's a difference between coming in, reviewing the film, and coaching guys hard and being honest with them. We still do that. I mean, we coach them hard, but we only have, and this is just being brutally honest, at this point, clearly we have a certain amount of playmakers on this team. Banging heads on Sunday or Tuesday, at what point does that become a diminishing return? The reality of it is we know who our playmakers are, and in order for us to have our best chance to win, we've got to get them to Saturday feeling as physically well as they can feel in order to play as fast as they can play. I mean, Brock Hecking is battling through some stuff right now. Me getting Brock out there in full pads on a Tuesday, we can count on Brock Hecking. I know what we're going to get out of him. I mean, so there's that group of the team that we need to get them to the game at this point in the year. And trust me, I'm not the only coach that feels that way. It's across the board.
When I get out to practice Sunday, the guys are coming out on the field and they're joking around, they're keeping things light. Is that a good thing, or do you need somebody on this team who's kind of like a Kaepernick? Kaepernick, when things weren't going wrong, he'd get in people's face, he'd get in people's grill and yell and scream.
We do that. I mean, we hold each other accountable. You see a very small snippet. You see maybe a 45-minute snippet of what's actually going on. And to be honest with you, by the time we take the field on Sunday and we finish the review of the game and we finished our team meeting about, the truth, let's be honest about what just happened, at that point I want them to turn the page. Because a hangover does us no good. We need to physically, emotionally, mentally move past what just happened and get back into a positive state of mind to try and win the next game. And to be honest with you, I'm responsible for some of that. I'm the guy that is going from meeting room to meeting room saying, okay, pick your head up, put a smile on your face, and let's go get started on the next one. Because if we sit and dwell on, things that didn't go our way, that's not going to help us very much.
Have you had any of your players tell you this is a big change from the previous coaching staff?
Not in that situation in particular, but, they've articulated to me that things are different. Nobody has judged it good or better, good or worse, better or worse. I'm tired, guys. Bear with me. Nobody has articulated a judgment one way or the other. I know it's different, and I'm not saying that it's better or worse. It's what our staff believes in. We are very, very honest and very, very candid when we review the film and when we talk to them about where we came up short and the things that we could have done better in order to win games. We're very honest about that. That being said, what good does it do me to hold a grudge and come out to practice, excuse the expression, all pissed off? I mean, a negative. Look, it's just who I am. I'm a positive person by nature. We're going to keep chopping wood, and that's the message I'm selling. And it ain't going to change. If we're 3-6 or 6-3, that message would not change.
The little drill you had at the end of practice the other day when Rolovich was throwing long bombs to defensive linemen, and I think you've had things at practice too where you had a couple walk-on guys run a 40-yard dash, and the payoff is push-ups or something. Why do you do that? Why are those things important?
A couple of things, just to put a smile on everybody's face and remind them it's okay to laugh. The other thing is to always create competition, and there's always a winner and a loser. So if there's a 40-yard dash going on, you got to pick a side. And if your guy wins, great. The other guy's got to do push-ups. The other night, we're catching long balls with defensive linemen. If the guy drops it, we're going to keep running. If a guy makes a play and catches it, then it helps keep things loose. It helps remind them that there's always competition, always, 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 and it's good for team building, esprit de corps, for lack of a better term. So.
Since I'm on Jack Reynoso, I think he's probably one of the more well-liked guys on the team. What's been your experience with him, maybe just as a person, rather than a football player, I guess?
I love him. I think his beard is ridiculous looking. I do. I love him, though. He's a great kid. He's a better player than I thought he would be. I think he's been more productive for us this year than we anticipated. Certainly in the first 3 or 4 weeks, we said this guy's got to play more, and his reps increased. He is a little bit of a goofball, and that will come out from time to time off the field. He's never a malicious guy. He doesn't make bad decisions. Occasionally a detail will slip through the cracks, and you'll call him in the office, and he's the first to say, yeah, you're right, I'll get it, I'll fix it, and 30 minutes later it's fixed. He's a joy to be around, and I think he is a great example of these seniors, Wimberly, Bitonio, Arenzi, Reynoso, who could have fought the change that occurred. It's not what they signed up for. They were recruited by Coach Alt and Coach Alt's staff. They didn't sign up for me and our staff, and yet they have completely dedicated themselves to what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And for that, I will be forever grateful and forever indebted to them. And Jack is one of those core group of guys. And I told them the other day that I didn't want them ever to feel like they were not my guys because I didn't recruit them. This is my first head coaching opportunity. There's only one first like this, and they will forever be my first senior class, our first senior class. And I think so highly of that whole group, and Jack in particular is a joy to be around. There's a great story people don't know about. Jack and Cody Fajardo visited KJ, one of the shooting victims, in the hospital before anybody else from our organization even thought of it. And not only did they do it, they didn't tell anybody. They didn't seek any recognition. They just did it because it was the right thing to do. And Jack was in there playing video games with the kid for about 2 hours. And I didn't catch wind. Who told me? The governor. Governor Sandoval made me aware of it because he wanted to recognize Jack. I wasn't even aware that he had done it, which speaks to the quality of the kid's character. So.
I know we get caught up in wins and losses a lot as media and fans, but is that really what the college experience is about? Is developing citizens and doing good things?
Yes, it is. It is the first priority for me. Our fans don't like to hear that. I'm a believer that my job is to graduate players. My job is to help them develop as young people and grow into good men and contributing members of society. And then it's to teach them competition, work ethic, how to prepare, to teach them the value of perseverance in a society where kids their age want immediate gratification. If they don't get it, they turn off the Xbox or they hit the reset button because it's not going my way. Those are the lessons that we are here to teach. And I'm a firm believer that if we teach those lessons, winning is a byproduct. And that's just what I believe. And there are so many, while I know our fan base and our alums are frustrated with the way the season has gone, and trust me, nobody is more frustrated than we are. There are success stories on this team that they're not aware of, or not aware of yet, I should say, that they will be aware of. And there are success stories on this team that are building the foundation for us to get this program back to where everybody wants it to be, to get it back to where Coach Alt and his staffs had established a consistent winner and a tradition of excellence. And there are people right now in this program, both true freshmen and fifth-year seniors, that are help laying the foundation for that. And those are success stories. They're just not on the scoreboard quite yet.
Coach, you mentioned his 5.5 yards carry, 15 touchdowns.
he really understands how to run the zone. I mean, he really understands how to stretch plays and then hit the cutback. He's a one cut back. I mean, there are guys you watch on film and say, boy, that back really understands the concept of the play, and this kid's exceptional at it. He really is. I like him a lot. He's a good back. And he's at Colorado State, and I believe he came from Chicago, which just goes to prove, they don't always have to be from the general, expected recruiting area. You can find players from players areas that would be not logical recruiting areas for you, and they can end up being really good players.
And also, Sean Henderson, how far has he come? He moved over to wide receiver, and it looks like the sky's the limit. I mean, this guy.
Yeah, it's and I've gotten a couple emails that said you're a moron. Why isn't he being out there more? But the reality of it is, Richie, Aaron Bradley, and Wimberly are all well-established, really productive football players. He was playing in some packages, and when we went into the 4-wide package, he was out there playing. He has gotten better. Clearly, he's got above-average ball skills. His hands are gigantic. He's got above-average athletic ability. He leaps over a lot of people and goes and makes plays. The thing that we're constantly working with him on are technique and running routes, because he'd never done it before, and that's not as easy as it sounds. And the other thing is the suddenness that you have to play with at receiver. You'll see he can run, but sometimes it takes him a little while. It takes him 3 or 4 strides to get going. Where the quick twitch suddenness at the line of scrimmage that you need sometimes is something that he has been working on since the day that we moved him there, and he's gotten better. And I do believe the sky's the limit. And there is a guy who is a great example. There's a story. There's a success story right there. A lot of people in his position, hey, we're going to move you from quarterback to wide receiver. How many times in college football do we read about the kid that says, well, forget you guys, I'm transferring. I'm going to go where I can go play quarterback, as opposed to a young man that's got the maturity, the perseverance to say, okay, in the long term, might be what's best for me, and it's best for the team, so I'll do it. And he's one of the success stories that we're talking about. And a year or 2 from now, Lord knows how many plays he's going to be able to make for us. He's going to be a dynamic guy moving forward.
Why did you move him to wide receiver? Because he never played quarterback there, or was it because he's going to be so much better at wide receiver?
A couple of things that stuck out. The first one was that, as big as he is, he had a nagging shoulder that would flare up after 4 or 5 days of a lot of throws. And so there was a medical concern. It wasn't an injury that would prevent him from playing, but it was an injury as a quarterback that you'd say, boy, are we going to have to manage this for the next 4 years where we're going to have a quarterback on a pitch count? That's going to be hard. And then the other thing, and you're going to laugh, but the way we found out he had incredible ball skills was when we would have the second and third centers in there and shotgun snap and the ball would be all over the place. The guy would bend down with one hand and pluck the ball. It'd be 4 inches off the ground. He'd pluck it off one-handed. And you'd say to yourself, holy cow, did you see that? The best catch of the play was from the center quarterback exchange. So when we discussed the move with him, it was very clear to us that he had the ball skills. We didn't find out about all the leaping ability and the ability to time the leap and go up over people and the athletic ability and body control to get 1 foot in bounds. We didn't find that stuff out till we moved him out there. But I promise you, it was funny. Somebody was here. It was either my dad that was here at the time in spring practice or Coach Chris Palmer. And they were there. One of those 2 guys, I can't remember who it was. One of them was here when we made the transition. And after the first practice said, well, that was smart. That's where he's going to be for the next 4 years. So, sometimes things like that just happen.
With his body, is he a potential tight end candidate, or is he?
James Spady thinks so. He's begging for him. I don't know. I think we're going to let his body take him where he goes. I know he loves playing wide receiver. I wouldn't. And there's some physical toughness at the end of the line of scrimmage that I don't know if he developed it playing quarterback. I know he did as a basketball player, banging around down low, but I don't know. I guess we'll see where his body takes him. I mean, if he keeps gaining weight, you know, it's hard to have a 250-pound wide receiver. Although Wimberly pulls it off pretty well. So.
Guys in switching positions, have you considered moving Solomon to safety?
We thought about it in the springtime, but we gave it a look, but it didn't look as natural as like the move that Hassan did. But yeah, I mean, we thought about it.
I think that was one of the reasons why he came here, because he wanted to be a running back. I think Boise offered him.
Yeah, I believe Colorado offered him as a safety too. So he had a Pac-12 offer as a safety, and he was open-minded about it. I mean, he tried. It just he didn't look as natural as he looks at tailback. So.
You guys can finish 500 on the season. Just where's the confidence level of the team right now, your players?
I can't speak to that. I can't speak for the players. I know that we have asked them. I mean, the mantra you're going to hear over and over is keep chopping wood. I mean, we're not going to put down the axe. At some point, the tree's going to fall. And I know that the body language that I've observed, the work ethic that I've observed is that guys believe that. They're buying into that. I certainly don't want to speak for the players. I know that we're not thinking about, boy, we can still be 500. Our staff does not allow that. We focus on one challenge at a time, and our sole focus right now is to not end up 6-6. Our sole focus right now is to end this week at 1-0, and that's all we're talking about is Colorado State and the here and the now.
How much did McElwain bring to this Alabama offense to Colorado State? Are you going to be seeing a lot of that?
There are bits and pieces of it. I mean, certainly in terms of the run game, in terms of some of the play action that's built off the run game, but I think you'll see more spread concepts from them than you would from Alabama. Sometimes you have to be more creative when your personnel doesn't match your opponents. At Alabama, there's going to be 2 or 3 games a year where they might be looking at people of the same level of ability. There's going to be 8 or 9 where they're just flat better than people, and they can, run their base stuff and be okay. But Coach McElwain I've talked, I know everybody teases me, but there are 3 or 4 guys in this league that when I got here as a young head coach were really good to me and helped. And it was Bobby, and it was Coach DeRuiter, and Coach McElwain is one of the guys in that group. And I have a lot of respect for him. I like him personally. I like his wife. They're good people. My wife and Coach's wife have a relationship, and I'm going to go try and beat him, but we have a ton of respect for he and his staff. I think that's a well-coached team. I'm not thinking about it. No more than I was thinking about what happens if you're the guy that loses the cannon. I mean, I can't think about that stuff. I mean, I got to think about the game. We have to think about the game. The staff, the players, we have to think about the game. Those things are a result of how we do in the game. So I really don't think about that. If it is, whatever happens will happen. But I can tell you that we're gonna absolutely give our best effort, and it starts this week. And for what it's worth, I have no problem. There have been specific plays and individuals that you say to the guy, hey, I know you have more, but overall, in general, this team has tried. This team has not given up. They're playing with passion and energy. We're not executing all the time, and for whatever reason, it's not going the way we want it to go all the time. But I don't question their character or their effort.
One quick one. Colorado State has not done very well against the pass this year. Is that something obviously you guys have noticed you think you might be able to take advantage of?
Yeah, it's something that we've noticed, but then, and it goes back to the same thing last week, too. The Fresno guys were wondering, we're a little beat up at corner. Why aren't you throwing it? Well, we got to protect it, too. And part of their strength is the defensive line with Barrett and with the big fella. So, it's easy to say, hey, we ought to throw it 50 times, but that means you got to protect 50 times. And the reality of it is, in my opinion, in order for our offense to be most effective, we need to be balanced. We need to be able to run it well enough to keep people from just pinning their ears back and throwing the kitchen sink at us. And that's just kind of how we feel. So, good? Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Well, we can start off with Henderson. What do you like about what you've seen out of him early on for a guy who's just played the position for 8 months?
His willingness to learn. He's always, asking me for help, whether it's with the route or the concepts of the defense. He's just open. He's open-minded, and he wasn't bitter about moving, as a receiver, because he always had a dream about playing college football as a quarterback. His athletic ability speaks for itself. He's a 6'5" receiver, 235 pounds. He's physical, and he's good at catching the ball and running routes. So, you got a little taste of that this week, and you're probably going to get a lot more of it.
Were you surprised to see him be as good as he is? I mean, that catch down the sidelines that was reversed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a catch that a guy who's been a receiver for 4, 5, 6 years makes.
No, I mean, it just carries over. He does it in practice, and he does it in the game. He was just waiting for his moment, and with AB being hurt and Richie being banged up a little bit, he got a chance to do that. So I mean, it's something that he's been doing it all camp and all throughout fall, and you guys just finally got a taste to see that. I mean, you probably would if you'd be out there Thursday practice when practice is closed, but yeah, I mean, he does it over and over, and he just got a chance to display that this Saturday.
The kind of lighthearted nature of practices this year, how different is it from the previous years?
Oh, it's tremendously different. I mean, for me at least, we get a little leeway. We get breaks, and we get water breaks where, he never stopped us from getting water, but we didn't have a designed period for it, and here we do. We have 5 minutes to, get off our feet and sit down, and if you want to cup a squat on the turf, you can do that. Would never have that, which is fine. I learned to deal with both, but it's different.
When you're on a 4-game losing streak, does it help to have that? Like Sunday, you guys had that little pass thing that made everybody laugh. Rolovich throwing the ball to some defensive linemen. Does it help to have those kind of things as you go through this?
Yeah, it does. But after Sunday, that loss is already buried. We tend to, like Coach says, we preach 1-0, and that week is over. When Sunday comes, whether we win or lose, it's over. We're worried about the next week, and that's why we're focused on being 1-0 this week. And once Saturday after 7:30, it'll be over, whether we win or lose. So we'll be just ready to be 1-0 or 0-1 for the next week, and that's what we prepare to do.
How important is it to have those just to kind of build team camaraderie? Those types of things, the 40-yard dashes with the red shirt guys after practice.
It's fun. The losses are hard. Hard on anyone, and that's just a chance for us to actually lighten up and, not be as serious as we were, on the way home from the trip, or whether we lost at Mackey. It just gives us time to loosen up and actually laugh for once, because you're so tight about the loss, and you just dwell on it throughout the day. Even when they tell us not to, you still tend to do so, because we've been losing games that we shouldn't have been losing, and it's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, and I think by doing little things like that brings us a little closer together and actually give us a chance to laugh.
How surprised are you to be 3-6 right now? I know no one had that in their mind going in. Look at it and say, what happened, or do you have a firm grasp on really what has happened?
It's just disappointing. A couple of the teams were, clearly better than us, and that's the Florida States and UCLA's. But other teams, same skill set as us, teams that we could have beat and probably should have beat, but Coach has been preaching about self-inflicted wounds, and we've been killing ourselves. A lot of times we beat ourselves. Against UNLV, we had 13 penalties for 105 yards. You just can't win a football game like that. And last week we had some penalties, and even on the last drive, we had a penalty that stuck us behind the chains, and it hurt. So I feel, at least me, I feel that a lot of the things that we done wrong were because we did them wrong. We just didn't execute the game plan right, and things happen.
How important is
Just want to know. Like Coach said, we're going to keep chopping wood, and these are the guys I've been working with for 14 weeks, and some I've been working with for 5 years. Like Joel, he's been here through thick and thin, and a couple of other guys like Jack. We just been grinding. So I wouldn't have it no other way. Whether we're 0-12 or 12-0, we're going to still work, and we're going to come out here every day and tend to get better. It's just a grind. Nothing is promised. Wins are promised. Losses are promised. Losses isn't promised. So it's just just got to keep grinding and trying to get better, and keep that brotherhood alive and just build relationships with these guys. So that's what we're doing.
How strange is it for this your final road game? Are you at this point going to kind of take it in like, wow, this is the road game?
I haven't really thought about it. This is probably my first time actually thinking about this being my final road game as playing for the University of Nevada. But I guess I'll see how it is after we beat Colorado State, and then I'll reflect on it then.
How much is it back your head, the whole streak?
It's not. Things happen. Every year is different. You can't dwell on what happened in the past because it's over. We win these 3 straight and we go to a bowl, that's fine. We don't. It's life. Life goes on. Coach Poling has done a great job with this team, and it takes time. Nobody just turns around teams in a year. So we'll see how it goes. No, because not really. Because in order for us to do good, I'm going to have to get the ball. I'm a playmaker in this offense, and if I don't get the ball, most of the times we're probably losing. So we got to throw the ball, and that's what we got to do to win football games. So we're struggling up front a little bit. Guys are banged up, so we got to throw the ball. And if we don't throw the ball, we probably won't be winning. So.
Why haven't you gotten involved in these last couple of games? Did you concentrate on you more, or just spread the ball around more? What's going on?
Yeah, teams notice. They watch film, so they see that. They've been bracketing me a little bit, and also, Richie's been playing good, and Aaron's been playing good, and you see Hassan coming around also. So that's going to take a little pressure off me, and they probably get a little pressure now, so I'll be a little bit more open for me. But Kendall's been running the ball fine, so they've been kind of stacking the box and throwing all type of blitzes at Cody and the O-line, so it makes it difficult for the ball to even get my way. A lot of the concepts are front side and backside concepts, and sometimes we don't have enough time up front for the backside concept to get read. So, that might be a reason, but I don't call the plays.
What are your thoughts on what you guys might be able to do through the air this week?
I haven't really broke down film too much, but what I've seen, Colorado State, they're a sound defense. I haven't looked at the statistics, but some of the film that I've seen, guys catch balls. We just got to protect up front, which I know we can do with the Union. And Cody got to deliver the ball. Me, Richie, and AB, and Hassan, and Jericho, and Jeffers, and whoever's that tight end. We have to make plays in order to win a football game. And even Kendall and Don out the backfield catching little screen passes and things like that. There's a lot of things we can do after the catch that'll help us out also.
All right. Thanks, bro. Joel.
Joel, if you could just talk a little bit about, kind of the light nature of practices this year, how important that's been for you guys.
It's cool. Practice is always a grind. They're light, but we're still banging a lot, especially O-line, D-line. It looks like they're having fun playing music and stuff, but we're still practicing hard. It's not that big of a difference in actual practice structure. We still practicing hard. We're still getting a lot of reps and stuff like that. So for me, it's good to have a day where we get to mess around a little bit. We get to throw the ball around and stuff like that. I have fun when we do that, but practice is practice. You have to get better during practice, and we still have a nice little grind out there.
Do you need that as a football player? Those 40-yard dash, little competitions that you have every now and then, things like that.
Oh, they're fun. Football's fun anyway, but practice. No one says practice has to be fun, and when they can implement some fun into practice, it helps the morality of the team a little bit, and it keeps everybody, joking around and having a good time.
You guys were kind of kind of lighthearted when you came out to practice Sunday. And I'm wondering if there's, does this team need somebody who's got that Kaepernick kind of fire, or is that a good thing that you're, that one day after a game you moved on and you're?
Yeah, we take losses hard. It's not a joking matter. I mean, by the next day we've already watched the film, we've already understood our mistakes, but especially me, I take it personally when we lose football games. It's not a fun thing. I hate losing. But in order to move on, in order to make the team better, we have to try and move on. And I think us joking around and us trying to have a good time is the way we try and move on to the next opponent.
How difficult is the season for you guys? I know you didn't expect to have this record this long.
Yeah, it's been tough. At least me personally, I go into every week thinking we can win the football game, and when you come out losing, it's not fun. And being a senior, it's not the way I pictured it going to start. But we have another game this week, and we're trying to go 1-0 this week. And if we can do that, we'll be on the right track to finish out the senior year good.
Yeah, how important is it to get a couple wins under your belt? Just put a better base.
I just want to win one this week.
So where is the confidence level of the team, your players in the locker room?
I think every week we're pretty confident. We go into the game, we feel like we have a good game plan and stuff like that. I don't think our confidence has been destroyed. That's the feel I get, and I think we're still pretty confident. I think the coaches put together a good game plan, and we just got to execute a little bit better. We'll have 10 guys do the right thing, and one guy make a bad play or get a holding call or miss a block or drop a catch, and it just that kills the morality of the team when we're in the game. But I think the confidence is fine. I think we go into games ready to play, and we just got to develop as a team and execute a little bit better.
How tough is it to bounce back from supporting losing streak?
It's tough to bounce back after you lose one, and especially when you put together a string of losses. It's tough to get on the right track. You miss the taste of winning, and I think we're going to come out and practice today and have a good one, and that'll hopefully kick us off in the right direction.
Coach said you're a little beat up. What's bothering you, and do you think you're going to play Saturday?
I will play Saturday. No, it's just like the season. You play 9 games, you play every snap of every game. You get beat up a little bit. We're big guys running into each other out there and stuff like that. But I'm doing all right.
Have you missed a snap all game?
I got taken out when we were beating UC Davis and stuff like that. So I've been taken out of games. Yeah.
It's been probably 4 or 5 weeks since you missed a play.
Yeah.
Joel, does the bowl streak play a factor in the back of your head at all?
Not right now. Maybe at the end of the year. We'll see what happens. But right now we're just concentrating on Colorado State and trying to, find a way to get a win this week.
Doing something like Jack Reno, so you kind of just talk about your 5 years here with them, and maybe your best memory or
He's a good guy, and he loves to play football. We've been here. He was here a semester before me, but we've been here for 5 years, and I think the funny thing was when he was playing O-line, because he played O-line for his first year here. I was always joking with him, like, you would not beat me if you played D-line and stuff like that, and he would always argue back and forth, and then we actually got to test it out. I mean, he's playing a little D tackle, but we get to battle a little bit, so I just think that was cool that it actually came to fruition that we got to go against each other a little bit in practice and stuff like that.
Just talk about your bond with the seniors, the bigger seniors. There's probably only 5 or 6 of you guys left.
There's not very many of us, I mean, Wim was here almost 2 years before I was, so he was always an older guy to me, but he's a great dude, and he's a big time player, and he makes plays, and Jeffers, I've been in the dorms with Jeffers and Joe and Jack, and they're just good guys. We have a lot of good guys on this team. I wish we had a bigger senior class. I wish some of the guys would have stayed around and stuff, but these are guys I'm going to be friends with forever, and that's one of the best things about college football is the people you meet, and it's lifelong experiences like that. Thanks, guys.
State team? What's it going to take to beat them?
Stopping the run. They got good backs, big boys up front. So as long as we defeat blocks, stop the run, take them out of rhythm, then we have a good chance.
Do you feed off of that second half from last week? How you guys played against Fresno.
We're gonna take I think we could build off it as long as we, don't get complacent with it. We'll be good because usually I feel like sometimes we're like, oh, we had a good half, and then that's it. But as long as we're just you know what, let's keep going, we'll be all right.
How do you like the way that your role has grown as the season's gone forward?
Everyone's glad to play, get some more playing time. But my main thing is knowing the coaches have faith in me. That's the main thing. It's never good when you feel like the coaches don't believe in you or something. So just knowing that they're putting me in the game, giving me more opportunities, shows that they have some faith in me and see something in me.
I think Coach Poling mentioned at the luncheon the other day that he wanted to get you in one full year with Coach Eck. What do you see as like a perfect weight and size for you?
I got to get bigger. I feel like I could put on a couple more pounds. Bulk up more to become more of a force down low. I'm kind of slim right now. Not really that perfect prototypical defensive end body. So I think Coach Eck and the rest of the strength coach, if we could get in there, start working together, we can make something happen.
Where are you at now, and what do you think the ideal weight would be?
I'm about 245, 250. My ideal weight probably 255, maybe 260, but then just a lot more ripped and cut up instead of just like a little bit sloppy and stuff.
The team has struggled a little bit stopping the run this year, and Colorado State is running back. How important will it be to contain that?
The one thing about us is they don't really run anything that destroys us. We kind of destroy ourselves. Being out of the wrong gaps out a couple times. 1 inch outside to the left, that leaves them that 1 inch that they could just sneak through and break it. So as long as we, come in and know what we're supposed to do, run the right plays, we'll stop them because typically when we do that, we hold our own.
How important is it to stop this losing streak for the seniors, not just for you guys, to get them another win?
It's important just to get this win. It's obviously important to help get the seniors out there knowing that they didn't leave on a terrible note. So if we could get this win up, Coach Poling always talks about keep chopping at the wood. So if we could chop this wood down and win this game, hopefully it could carry over. But right now, if we could take this win, that'd be pretty awesome.
Coach mentioned these guys do a lot of multiple offense things. 4 wides, 3 tights. You guys do that here too sometimes. Do you get some training out of facing your own team in that sense?
Yeah, we actually do a lot. And then, going up against Joel, Kyle Roberts, and Cody and stuff, sometimes we actually get better looks. But, we actually, a lot of teams that we play run what we typically run. So it actually helps a lot. So we could get their looks and then get different type of looks that we might not have seen on film but might get when they play us.